Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today, I wanted to take a little bit of a break from a lot of my normal Armada discussion because I've been talking an awful lot about some of the Rebellion in the Rim stuff that had been coming out. And, while I was working on Rebellion in the Rim, it got me thinking of some new ways to build tankier fleets than ever. So I decided I would try to build a really tanky fleet using a Nebulon title that we don't often use, and that is not going to be the new Vanguard, but this one's going to be Redemption. Redemption, gives extra engineering, and I decided, could I put that into maybe making the tankiest ship possible? And I know there's been some really, really tanky ISD builds and SSD builds and all of that, and I was thinking maybe I could do something like that for the Rebels, and kind of wanted to do a Leia build and just kind of stretch things a little bit and have a little fun with this build. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I also do want to remind you guys about the giveaway. I'm going to be announcing the winner to the big promo giveaway this weekend, and that is going to be for either an X-Wing Wedge promo or an MC80 and Leading Shots promo. There's going to be 3 winners of that bundle, and if you want more chances to win, there are also opportunities over on Patreon, so you can go ahead, and there's still time left to enter to win that. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. And also, for those of you asking, I'm using Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder. I'll put a link to that in the description below, but it's definitely one of the best fleet builders around, and I definitely love it. So, how are we going to get a really tanky ship? Because, on some examples, on some cases, the interdictor is really, really tanky, but, MC80s are also pretty hard to kill, and since I'm giving MC80 promos away, I figured I'd do an MC80 build. And, I think I'm going to do the MC80 Assault Cruiser. I'm going to try to make this the ultimate, the tanky ship. And so first off, our commander, I'm going to put my commander on the tankiest ship, and in this case, we're going to go with Leia. And I don't really like Leia. I'm going to be, she's so expensive for somebody that just gives tokens, and it's problematic. But we're going with Leia because, again, I'm trying to, the idea here is that I'm going to be able to do engineering just about every turn and, try to just survive. But there's a little more to it than just that. So Leia's basically going to give us the ability to do an engineering token and then 2 more points because our engineering value half. So basically we'll be able to get 6 points, which is a pretty good start. And I definitely want to, one of the reasons I'm going with the Rebels and the MC80 is because the Exodus Fleet title gives me the option to be able to get 2 more as long as I have another Mon Calamari ship, and that is coming. Make sure you stand by because we're going to also add another Mon Calamari ship afterwards. So making this ship so tanky, it's helpful that it has 2 defensive retrofits, so I definitely want to take advantage of that. One of them is obviously going to be electronic countermeasures with only one, defense token, one brace. That's all we could do, and we definitely need that, especially right now before our Wave 8 comes out, and then we'll have a new commander for the Rebels that's potentially even more tanky, at least for one ship. But Leia's gonna still kind of get the job done for this go around. But for our other one, there's some very, very good options. We have got early warning system, which is really cool, especially if you know where they're coming from. But I also like reinforced blast doors in case they are able to punch through. Then they're gonna have to deal with that. So where do we go from here? Well, unfortunately, because I'm focusing so much on tankiness, I'm not really allowing myself a whole lot of points for offensive weaponry. I'm relying pretty much here on regular dice rolls. However, I do have some mitigation for that, so keep in mind there is going to be a little bit more to come. But I'm doing some other fun stuff. So I've got Redemption here that's giving me an extra engineering point when I do engineering commands. I'm also, I like the idea of running dual MC80s, each one of them using, projection experts to kind of, help the other one out. We've got the new auxiliary shields team, which is nice, but isn't going to really work on an MC80 because we're already kind of capped on our side arcs. So in this case, I'm going to do what I normally don't do, and I'm going to put engineering team on here. And then when I engineer, it's going to get me an additional engineering point, which is really, really cool. So we're going to have the additional engineering point on there. So now we're kind of looking at the ability of getting 6, 7, 8 and potentially once we get the Mon Calamari, Exodus Fleet 9 and 10. So we can get, basically with this combination, we can potentially get 10 points of engineering each turn. But because of Superstar Destroyers that are so prevalent right now, initially I'm thinking, and I could be even more tanky if I put Major Durlin or even Lando Calrissian on there. And I'm like, nope, for my officer, as much as I might want to do somebody like Strategic Advisor or something like that, for my officer, I'm going to put Engineering Captain. I'm going to put Engineering Captain because this says before you reveal a command, you may change that command to an engineering command. So this means any type of dial shenanigans my opponent does, I'm always going to be able to change my top dial to an engineering command. And additionally, this gives me the option of planning every other command. I don't ever have to plan an engineering command. So now I only have to choose nav or concentrate fire or squadrons. I don't ever have to actually plan engineering. So, and if it turns out I'm not going to need engineering, if I'm full shields, then I just resolve the dial as normal. So this gives me a lot more flexibility. And with that concentrate fire, that is something that's going to give me a little bit of offensive extra, for the lack of, me putting an ion cannon or a turbo laser upgrade here. So this is the tanky flagship here, and for the other MC80, it's the cheaper options right now are MC30s, but I don't really like those. I do want a projection experts, so that kind of leaves me with another MC80. And in this case, I'm going to go with the command cruiser, with the idea that I fly this one behind. I basically put the flagship out front and say, come on, come and get me, and then I'm betting on the fact that they're not going to be able to come and get me, considering I can get 5 shields back every turn. I'm definitely betting on the fact that they're not going to be able to bring me down. So, for what are we going to put on the command cruiser? Well, this one will be, outfitted a little bit less, but the first thing, obviously, is the Mon Calamari Exodus Fleet. So we have somebody right behind. Now, the risk here is that they ignore the flagship and they go straight for the command cruiser. So I'll have to, positioning will be important here. But still, the command cruiser is going to be pretty tanky on its own. I'm also going to put Engineering Captain here. So this one can always engineer as well. And on top of that, this one will have projection experts. Now, in an earlier version of this build, I gave both of them projection experts, and that worked. But I just, I want to try to really emphasize that this one, Leia's, the flagship, is the dangerous one. And if you ignore it, if you decide you're not going to shoot it, then I'll have nav commands planned, and nav commands and probably concentrate fire commands planned to punish you for ignoring it. So that is hopefully, that is the plan. And with those wide side arcs, we don't even have to line up a narrow arc. So it shouldn't even be that hard to really punish somebody for ignoring it. So let's see, what else are we going to put on this ship? I've got one more, and that, of course, is going to be our lone, because we went with the cheaper command cruiser. We are going to put ECM. So this is still, while this is the secondary ship here, it's still very tanky, very survivable. We're also going to be able to exhaust the Mon Calamari Exodus Fleet off of our flagship. So, and we're still going to have Leia's benefit and the flexibility of setting any dial we want, knowing that we can get engineering to come to us whenever we're going to need it. Now, for squadrons, this is going to factor in to objective play. We're going to put some squadrons out there, not many, but I'm going to put 2 VCXs, and the 2 VCXs brings us up to 399. They're also tanky, and hopefully they won't get killed completely, but they're also there for strategic being incredibly important when it comes down to, go ahead and moving those objectives around. And for our objectives, what are we going to use for objectives? Well, now for the red, a lot of times you think, I normally say, hey, let's go with advanced gunnery because I've got a big ship here, but I'm not going to go with advanced gunnery in this case because this could actually punish me a little bit more. It could end up punishing me a little bit more. I think the best thing for me to use right here is targeting beacons. Targeting beacons is a great objective that's going to let me place 2 tokens, but there'll be 4 tokens on the board. And this is a perfect opportunity for me to move my VCXs around and move some of those objective tokens just to just the right spots. And it gives my opponent absolutely nothing and gives me everything, because now I'll be able to re-roll 2 dice every single time. And that even is going to help the Nebulon, honestly. It's even going to help the Redemption. But that's going to totally help me in the one area that I'm absolutely weak in, is offense. So, I love the fact that there's no trade-off. It only helps me, doesn't help my opponent in any way, shape, or form. So that one is definitely good. Additionally, for yellow, I'm going to also focus with objective tokens and go with Fire Lanes. Fire Lanes is great for big ships like this, especially slow-moving ships that I say, hey, I want you to come to me. And I've got 2 VCXs that can pull those tokens even further into my safe side. So, this one is kind of a no-brainer. Nobody ever will pick Fire Lanes against a build like this. And then for blue, you have a couple of options. We could go with something like Salvage Run. We could pull some tokens out of there. But I am a big fan of going with something like Superior Positions, because we've only got 3 ships to deploy. We don't have very good deployment set up here. So I would go with Superior Positions, and then we can deliberately deploy very far away from my opponent. So now, on top of how tanky I am, I can deliberately deploy in a way that they have to go through my flagship first. And by the way, by the time they get to it, it might be turn 4. And as second player, I'll guaranteed to win. Now, it's a little cheesy to do that, but that's why I'm kind of hoping they don't choose that. I think, honestly, it'd be the most fun to go with Fire Lanes or targeting beacons in a battle like this, and let us really slug it out and see if you can take down this big MC80, which I think will be really tough to take down if you position it right. So that is the build, guys. Be sure and check out Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder, and be sure to subscribe to have a chance to win that latest giveaway. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and also want to thank my patrons. You guys are amazing and definitely help make this all possible. So I want to thank you guys again so very, very much. And as always, have a great day.